What the hell? Oh my. That was the surprise. That's what me and Kayvon were whispering. What the hell? Why are you here? Off the rails, I'm sorry.
I got cystic fibrosis. See, I've got cystic fibrosis.
Hello, salty people! So, welcome back to Staying Salty. My name's Chelsea. If you don't know what that video was to begin with, you clearly didn't watch last week's video. But don't worry, I'll link it down below so you can stay caught up. But if you did watch last week's video, then you already know that that was from me surprising my little brother in the Virgin Islands. So I had just moved to Atlanta, and then 2 days later, I was on a flight to the Caribbean where I went and surprised my little brother, literally hiding behind my dad, walking up to him and then popping out from behind my dad's back, and that was his reaction. So we'll watch it one more time because it's freaking adorable.
What the hell? Oh my. That was the surprise. That's what me and Kayvon were whispering. What the hell? Why are you here? Off the rails, I'm sorry.
So clearly he had no idea that I was coming. So we just spent a week sailing through the British Virgin Islands with his 2 friends and my dad, and we went sailing all through the Caribbean. Well, no, we're not like Pirates of the Caribbean or anything. We were just in the British Virgin Islands. But unfortunately, because we were on a boat the whole time, boat plus surrounded by water, plus a non-waterproof camera, yeah, I didn't take a lot of videos, unfortunately. But I will put in some of the videos I did take so you can get an idea of what we did for the week while we were being the Pirates of the Caribbean. So, like I said, I was coming to the Virgin Islands. Say hi, Madison. That's my brother. Oh, it's so beautiful. You're not gonna crash us into anything, right?
This is badass.
Hey! Look at that thing. Look at that! Good job, Preston. So, moving on, like I said, I just moved to Atlanta, and unfortunately from the last video, not much has changed. Oh, except for we have the dog now. Daisy! Whoa, there's Daisy. But we still have one article of furniture as a camping chair and nothing else. And you are currently on a spinning stool because that's what I have to work with. But enough about me. Well, actually, this entire video is about me. Either way, like you can see from the title, this video is about weight gain and tips to gain weight. So I know I've talked about this in some of my other videos if you've watched them, but right now my weight is completely stable. So I'm gonna talk to you about what I did back in college to go from this to this. That one's better. So before I get into my tips and everything, I'll give you a little bit of a summary for those who haven't seen my other videos. but I'll keep it short to not bore the people who have seen my other videos. So I went to college and I was relatively healthy. It wasn't until about halfway through college that I really started to get consecutively sick all the time, and my weight started to take a big hit because of that. But sadly, I was in Florida, so the skinnier I got, I didn't really realize for a while that it was an issue because I was in a place where skinny was aspired to, and I was eating everything that everyone else was, and I just didn't see that what was happening to my body until it got to the point where I was in a hospital bed and all I could see were the bones on my legs. There wasn't any muscle, there wasn't any fat, there wasn't anything. And that was a big wake-up call for me. On top of my lung function being low, I was so drained all the time, I had no energy. I realized how crucial weight gain is to lung function and how they correlate so much. And so I really decided that I needed to devote a lot of my time and all of my effort into gaining weight. So for about 2 years it took me to go from 89 pounds to 110 pounds, which I've thankfully been able to maintain without a lot of issues for the past 3 years. So my first tip is to commit. Weight gain, especially with having CF, is not something you can half-ass. I've had so many people ask me tips and everything on how to gain weight, but they kind of want to wiggle in the middle between kind of doing it but not getting too full. It's something you have to just commit to. Unfortunately, you're gonna feel like crap a lot of the days, especially in the beginning. And there are gonna be those days, when I was trying to gain weight, there were days where I would puke and then I knew I had to keep eating because then I just puked whatever I ate up. And it was a vicious cycle. And my stomach was too small to eat what I needed to eat. But then when I ate it, I felt gross because my stomach was small, but it was, like I said, a vicious cycle. And it takes so much commitment to break. But if you are bound and determined to gain the weight, you have to push through those hard times, and you have to push through the times that you say, I just don't want to eat today. But in the back of your mind, you know you need to. That's the person you have to listen to. Number 2, find an easy and doable way for you to get calories in your body. What works for me or what works for Larry or Hannah or anyone else might not work for you, and that's perfectly fine. I feel like so many people get very discouraged because they don't like certain things that worked for other people. Like some people don't like protein shakes, or aren't a big candy person, or don't want fast food, or they don't like avocados, and they get very distraught because they feel like because they don't like these high calorie, high fat foods, that they don't have many other options. There are so many other options out there. I urge you to explore everything. Try as many things as you can and find something that works for you to easily integrate into your meals already. For me, that was Scandi shakes. These little guys. And I'll put a link down below. I got mine off like Amazon or something. But Scandi shakes were super simple for me when I was trying to gain weight. I had one of those personal blenders, so it was very easy for me to make personalized smoothies or anything like that. And it was something that I could eat between breakfast and lunch, or lunch and dinner, or in addition to my breakfast, like a smoothie with my eggs or my toast or anything like that. And I didn't feel like I was overeating. But they each had 600 calories in it, and that's not adding anything else. So I would suggest trying it maybe, and they can be kind of pricey, but you get, I think, 4 in each package, so they really are worth it. And for me, that was a super easy way to just be able to mix it up, because some days I didn't feel like having what I had yesterday. So I could easily put a Scandi shake in with whole milk, and then put, either put a candy bar if I want that day, or fruit, or chocolate, or strawberries if I wanted a strawberry smoothie, or if I wanted an actual smoothie, I could always just add mangoes or anything like that. You can change it up so much. I know people who put Reese's in there, and that's even more calories, and they only are about 8 ounces, so They're pretty easy to get down. Now in the beginning, I can't tell you how many of these things I threw up, even in my car. That was gross. But it's kind of the necessary evil of trying to stretch your stomach out, trying to eat as much as you can, and trying to find the balance between real people meals and CF meals to gain weight. My number 3 tip with gaining weight is exercise. For me, I had to start out from the very bottom. I started out in pulmonary rehab. I was 21 years old in pulmonary rehab with a whole bunch of 80-year-olds, and I felt so out of place, but that was all I could do at the time. And so I started off with 1-pound weights, and then 2-pound weights, and then 5-pound weights, and it took me over a year to be able to graduate to what normal people my age were doing. It doesn't matter when you start or where you start at. It just matters that you do and that you commit to it, because once you start climbing the ladder, you're gonna feel so much better. It's never too late to start, and it's never too late to get to the gym or do anything. You can even YouTube online pulmonary rehab exercises, which are super simple and very doable even at home if you don't have a gym or anything. Just use water bottles, and it's so simple. You can look online for anything like that, very easy exercises to start building your muscles, because we all know muscle weighs more than fat. So once I got myself to a point where I had enough fat on my body, I then started adding the muscle while still eating the same. But while I was still putting all these calories and all this fat in my body, I was using those calories to make muscle, which weighed more than the fat, so therefore I was still gaining the weight. So exercise was a huge, huge component for me, and something I still implement every day in my life to try and keep up, especially in the islands. I even did that in the islands. My number 4 tip is to make it fun. It doesn't have to be this horrible task. My dad and I, he'd always laugh at me because he would take me out to dinner and we'd go and have family meals and talk and everything. But then we would have these 3-course meals where he'd be like, do you want dessert? You're getting dessert. Let's get dessert. Come on, dessert. And my poor dad, at the end of every time he'd come and visit me in Florida, he'd get on the plane. He's like, I love you, but I'm pretty glad to be leaving because I think I've gained 10 pounds trying to fatten you up. So it can be fun. Include other people. And the more people you include, I had friends who would bring me things on the way home, like if my friends would stop at Wawa, or I hope you guys know what Wawa is. But if they stopped at Wawa or a smoothie place or anything like that, they'd text me, hey, do you want this? Because they knew I was trying to gain weight. Make it fun. Tell people and have other people help you make it fun. It doesn't have to be horrible. You can have conversations over the dinner table while you're trying to stuff your face and feel gross. But make sure you surround yourself with people that don't make you feel gross. My last and final tip is tip number 5, and that is to be forgiving to yourself. Your body is trying to do so much. It's trying to gain all this weight. It's trying to do everything, and you're helping it so much. But give it its time. Be patient. Let your body go at its own speed. Just because I gained X amount of pounds in a month doesn't mean that is what has to happen to you to be successful. If you gain 1 pound in a month, that's still 1 more pound than you were last month. So try not to get down on yourself. Try to set realistic expectations. Like, try not to say you're gonna gain 50 pounds in a month. We all wanna do that, but that's not gonna happen. So try and be easy on yourself. Your little body is trying to work as hard as it can to do everything that you're trying to get it to do. So if you gain 1 pound in a month, that is a success. I do want to put a little disclaimer, public announcement here at the end and tell everyone that gaining weight sometimes isn't weight related at all. It's health related. And if you're not doing your treatments and doing everything you need to do to make your body as healthy as it should be, then no matter how many calories you eat, you're not gonna gain weight because your body isn't healthy enough to gain the weight. You need to make sure you're doing everything you can to make your body healthy. You need to do your treatments, take your enzymes, make sure all your vitamin levels are where they should be, because your body already works so hard just to breathe and function every day that gaining weight really isn't its main concern if it's fighting so hard just to breathe. So try and make sure all those other bases are covered before you start gaining weight. Do your treatments, take your enzymes, and eat your calories. So get that extra piece of cake. Hope you liked my video. I will see you guys next week on Staying Salty. So thanks guys. #stay salty.